Alright, welcome back to LiveCycle 201, and today we're going to discuss date and time fields. So I'll start by opening my template and creating my header and footer. So date and time fields are a very versatile field that many people use to house date information, and they're very customizable and very versatile. And if you notice from my object library, there's actually two fields here. One says date field, one says date/time field, and then actually in my version, if you go down to the bottom here, there's actually a time field as well. And these represent the same field. No matter which one of these you drag out of the object library, it's basically the same. The only difference is the way it's named here, and also under the binding tab you have a choice of either of these options. And so this one would be date, this one would be set date time, and this one would be preset for time. But you could change either of these into any of the others. To start off, this is going to be a drop-down date picker field. In other words, when we preview the form and we select on the field, the little drop-down menu pops up and we have a date picker, and we can pick a date, and we can continue to do that for any date. On back, we can go to decade, and the versatility of these fields comes in the way in which they can be scripted and or validated. So in other words, every field has what we call a pattern. So let's open this little button here, patterns. There are 4 tabs at the top of this pattern dialog box. The first is the display pattern. That's what we're going to see when the user picks a date. But then there's also an edit and a validation and a data pattern. We'll ignore data now because we're not really getting into data exporting and importing. Validation we'll get into in just a second. Edit is just when the field is being typed in, what is the input pattern that should be displayed. But for the most part, I leave these 3 blank and only use the display pattern. So we have these choices, and they're based on locale. You can choose any country you want, or use default, which is whatever your local system is, and for me that's United States of America English, and it gives you all the standard patterns for that country. And so I normally choose something like this. Often you may want to have a default value already loaded in. We can set a default value, or we can set something like this, so that they will be prompted to enter the date there. The date can be picked or it can be typed. So in other words, a person can type the date, and as they type away, the display pattern automatically gives us the 20 in 2018. But we could also type it in ourselves like that. But if we leave it off, since our display pattern is set 4-character year, it puts it in there for us. Alright, so that's patterns. But now we also have some interesting things that LiveCycle can do with calculations in calculating dates and customizing dates. Under the custom library, there is the current date field. And what that is date field with a preloaded script that gives you today's date, whatever day it is. The script is in FormCalc and it's preloaded, and it's a pretty simple script, only 1 line. And the only problem with this script is the date format. You only have a few choices here, and it's difficult to figure out where those choices are described. So I put in date format 2 and I get the 3-character 1-digit comma and then the full year. And we could keep changing that to test out what it looks like. I think there's up to 4 of these. Anyway, you can go to help and scripting reference to figure out all the different kinds of formats for that. That's a pretty simple script. You could do it also in JavaScript, but it's a little bit more complicated. So if you just have a form that you need the current date and you don't need it formatted any differently, you can just use the one found here in the custom library. But there's also a way to make calculations based on dates. And so I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to drag two date fields onto the form. And I'm going to call this one current date. I'm going to put this one, I'm going to call previous year. Alright. And then I'm going to switch the layout on this, the caption, to the right. And I'm going to say, alright. And now I'm going to restrict this field by going to the value tab of it and setting it as calculated read only. In other words, I don't want the user to be able to change this field. This is going to calculate 1 year from whatever date is picked from the current date field. So this field is user entered optional. This field is calculated read only. And then in the calculated event of this object, I'm going to place a script that calculates 1 year from whatever the user chooses from this field here. And you can pause the video and examine this script and copy it down for yourself if it's hard to follow. Okay, so what I'm saying in this if statement is, as long as this date field has a date in it, do something. So if it's not null, if it's not equal to nothing or null, then you can do something. Because I don't want the calculation to happen until there's actually a date put in there. All right. So I'm declaring two variables. The first is the actual date that was entered. The second is a multiplication of milliseconds for an entire year. So in JavaScript, dates are calculated by the millisecond, and so 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second, times 60 equals 1 minute, times 60 equals 1 hour, times 24 equals 1 day, and then times 364 will give us 1 year. Then I'm declaring, or I am instantiating a date constructor object. I'm going to take that object and set the time to be equal to end date minus 1 year. In other words, this variable subtracted by this variable will give us a 1 year previous. And then I'm going to write that value. And I was wondering why I wasn't getting my automatic pop-ups in my dot notation. It's because I have this set at FormCalc. I need to set that to JavaScript. Now when I type words like this and put a dot, I get my dot notation. Okay, that's the script. I'll pull it down, and you can pause the video and copy that if you want to try to follow along in LiveCycle yourself. And I have an error in my script. It took me a while to figure out what it was. Maybe you figured it out before me. But I need to put the actual name because I didn't have dot notation turned on. I didn't get it. You got to put the right name. TXT current date is the name of this field, not TXT current year. And so since I didn't have that in there, then my script, of course, didn't work. So now let's look at the full script. There's a little lesson in debugging. There's the full script. You can pause and copy that down if you need to. And notice the syntax checker didn't find that bug because it was syntactically correct. It's just there was no object named TXT current date. JavaScript won't assume that you don't know what your field names are. Okay, so let's save the form and now let's preview it. And so we pick a date, like today, and we get actually the day of the week and the date. And that's just JavaScript doing its job. The sky's the limit on calculations. You can do a lot of things, but I will warn you that JavaScript date calculations can be an advanced topic, and it's very difficult sometimes to get things to work right. Okay, final thing I want to show you is date validations. So I'm going to erase that one. I'm going to put another date field here, and I'm going to create a caption in each of these. So the first one I'm going to say date with validation, and the second one I'm going to say no validation. Alright, and what am I talking about with validation? Well, we haven't discussed this up to this point yet, but LiveCycle does have validation tools, meaning it doesn't allow users to enter information that isn't conforming to some kind of rule or validation. So the validation pattern here I'm going to put is that pattern. Now notice that it can be different than the display pattern. I don't advise it, but it can be. And this is what I mean. They're not allowed to enter a date that doesn't conform to that pattern. And this is no validation set at all. So let's save this and preview it. So first this one, we can choose a date and it'll go in like the display pattern. Nothing's different there. But now let's try to put in 10/6/05, and what it does is it automatically shifts us to 2005 because we have the display pattern there. What if we put just a 1? It can't assume that 1 means anything, and so it gives you a validation error. Whereas if we did it here, it would allow it to happen even though that date isn't valid. If I put 101, same thing. If I put 101 here, it would allow it. And so validation can help avoid some common errors that form fillers may be prone to commit. One more thing on this, in the validation pattern, you don't have to just stick with 1. You can actually put 2 in there. Then put a pipe and copy that one. So both would be valid. Anyway, I hope this gives you a good overview of date fields. Sky's the limit on these. You can do a lot with them. Please subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying LiveCycle 201 and 101, please give me your comments, give me suggestions for future videos. And whenever I get the next video up in the series, I will post a link. You can click and continue on to the next edition of LiveCycle 201. Thanks for joining us.